Let's talk a little bit about this Gaza proposal. It's a 20-point plan. There's a board of peace, which includes, to much amusement in British circles, Tony Blair is on the board of peace. What do you make of it all? What does it feel like to you?
I think the proposal is basically an Israeli American proposal. Prime Minister Netanyahu came over here early, and he had hours long meetings last Thursday and this past Sunday with Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner, who are obviously very close advisors to President Trump and who are both ardent Zionists. And the final deal that was worked out, the final plan that was released yesterday, the 20-point plan, was changed from previous plans in ways that worked to the Israelis' advantage. As an article in the Times of Israel says today, Israel got everything that it wanted in the deal. So it's really not an American proposal. It's an Israeli-American proposal. And of course, Hamas was not consulted at all in the process. They were simply presented with a fait accompli. And unsurprisingly, I think when you look at the deal, it's a deal that Hamas would be foolish to accept. They lose on all the key issues. And let me just walk you through a couple of them. First of all, they have to give up all the hostages in the first 72 hours. And everybody recognizes that the hostages are their leverage. So they give up their leverage. With regard to what happens to Hamas, the agreement is that Hamas will be completely disarmed to include all the tunnels being destroyed. That would mean that Hamas and the Gazans would be left defenseless. Third, the Israelis are not required to leave all of Gaza. And one of the principal demands of Hamas has been that the Israelis completely pull out of Gaza. They would pull out in a phased withdrawal. And even in the end, they would be left inside of Gaza along the perimeter of that piece of real estate. So this is an ideal situation for the Israelis, and it's disastrous for the Palestinians. But then we get to the most important problem. First of all, there's no sense of self-determination in the agreement. We basically have said how Gaza will be governed in the future. It won't be governed for a long time by the Palestinians. And then when the Palestinians do take over, we have decided who will take over, the Palestinian Authority, that is, who we will educate in the meantime to be responsible governors of Gaza. And then finally, and maybe most importantly, what's the end game here? Are the Palestinians going to get a state of their own? No. What is, as is mentioned in the final point, the 20th point of the document, what is the political horizon here that Palestinians can look toward? And the answer is they don't know what the political horizon is, what the final outcome is here. And the 20th point says that the United States is going to help set up a dialogue between all the parties so they can figure out what the end game is. So this is just a proposal that I would think makes no sense for Hamas to accept.